What's up live? Let's go live tonight. We coming on a new night. Uh we're gonna see if we get some people coming in and see how let's get over this personal finances today. Had a great time at the CBN conference. Uh, we're gonna see. Let me close off these comments because every time I look at the comments, it throws me off. And I want to get into one of my topics that I like a lot, which is the finance section. Uh, I see somebody chiming in. I see a couple of people chiming in. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I am streaming on YouTube, my Facebook group, and Instagram Live. I'm going YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram Live. And I plan on doing this every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. just to drop some jewels and some of the, from my mindset, some of the people that I talked to at the conference told me they was ready to hear more from me. So I'm about to drop some more stuff that I have just on getting us from point A to B, right? A lot of times we got all these other things that we have that we want to get to, but sometimes we just need to get from point A to point B. And to get from point A to point B, first we have to see where we're going and what B is. All right. A lot of times we don't have a destination. So to get from point A to point B, let's focus on one thing that's going to get us from here to there. Right. And for right now, the one thing that's going to get us there tonight that we're going to talk about. Appreciate y'all coming in, man. What's up? What's up? So I got some people chiming in, but the one thing that's going to get us there tonight that we're going to talk about is personal finance management, man. Let's talk about a little bit about personal finance management, because that's one of the things that I had to get in order before I got my business in order. A lot of times we get into business and we're looking at business credit and we don't want to get our personal PG, personal guarantee to it. And there's some benefits to that and some drawbacks, right? And I know a lot of times when I first started, I wanted to get this business credit because my personal credit was messed up. And I didn't want to have to attach my personal name to it because I thought I could just slide on up using business credit. It's some truth to it, and there's some fallacies inside of that same story that I learned along the way. And I want to just go over and tell them what was real and give realistic expectations of where we are. Now, I'm a little further along down the way now, but where I started from is where we should start from, right? So this live here, again, we'll be coming on every Tuesday night at 7 Central. I will be bringing other guests on to go live, and we'll be doing different topics. Again, we actually setting up for my podcast coming out, but we're not going to talk too much about that. We're going to stay focused on the live for the night, and we're going to stay on personal finances, right? Let's get back on the personal finances. All right. So personal finances is something that I said we need to go ahead and get it in order. Now, when I first started this whole journey, I wasn't making much. I was making about $20 a month. And they was taking half of my finances. They was taking 10, they was taking half, and I was only making $10, right? So inside of that, I had to start learning and studying principles that got me to where I can invest in my businest. First thing that I studied inside of personal finance is that you want to set up a goal to have you $1,000 emergency fund. That's the first goal that I think that everybody should start. I started my kids with that goal, right? And they invested in real estate now. My two oldest ones are invested in real estate. But I wanted to get $1,000, man. A lot of times I talk to people and they don't even have $1,000 saved. Now, as you start to journey off into business, you start to pull some of that resources to, get things going. But inside of the personal journey, we want to make sure that we start with an overview of having something in mind. Now, when I started my journey, I wanted to make sure that I kept a record, right? We want to make sure we're keeping a record. So a lot of times, again, we get into something that we don't keep a record. So I'll bring up one of these things to the stage here. I want to show one of my records that I kept along the way when I was doing my first business that was actually helping me get to where I had money to do this. If you can see, this is on paper, and you can see that I had a net of $631.30, and I had some hygiene, and I had some accounts receivables there that was 104, and we had some expenses that was $24.32. So see, to come up when you don't have a lot, you have to make sure that you're managing what you have. If what you don't manage, we'll manage you. And so I want to make sure that I took the time out to go show where I come from as far as the business side of it and what I was putting into practice. We got our net right there. Net, we went plus of $49 right there that 1 week. And this week was a great week. And I am looking forward to selling my business to old Sammy Whammy when I leave. So most likely I had the mindset of selling my business to somebody when I left and capitalizing on the place that I was in. But I had built a business to where it was profitable. And again, I could sell it to somebody else when I left, right? So I'll talk about some of the processes that you do put in place to manage your personal finances so you can get in business. One thing I would like to share with somebody is that we have apps that will actually help you do this. One of the apps that I started with Digit. When I started off, I wanted to make sure that I had a place that I had multiple streams of income. But I didn't have multiple streams of income when I started out, but I wanted them to be deposited somewhere. So I set up multiple bank accounts. And as I started talking to more entrepreneurs, I see that some of them on their personal side only have two bank accounts. They have a checking and a savings. And I think that's setting yourself up for failure because we want to go to where we have multiple places to deposit money from. And I know you're thinking like, hey, I ain't got no money right now. Where I'm gonna put multiple this? Well, if you set it, it'll start to accumulate. And what I mean by that is when we go back to looking at this, if you look at this paper, where this is just paper, if we look at the cash, I had a cash right there, right? You see cash and you see accounts receivables. You see I had a hygiene and inventory, right? And expenses. So all of those different things right there, as I'm labeling them, also was some of the accounts that I kept up on paper. So when I started to get my $1,000 emergency fund, I started to keep money in cash, or I started to send it home to someone that was had a PayPal card for me, and I started to accumulate money. I started to send it home at a certain time so I can have $1,000. But you want to make sure that you have multiple accounts, not just two. If you have two, just a checking and a savings, that's I definitely think that you would get rid of that. Now, as I tell people all the time, we want to label those accounts, right? We want to label them. You label personal, investment, savings, and giving. Now, giving is tithing. You want to give off some money, but you want to make sure that your giving and your personal account is at the same bank. Now, the way that you structure this also for your personal finances is amazing because it can help you safeguard yourself from those times that you illegally spending, not illegally spending, ill ill spending in the wrong way, right? Ill-advised spending. It might be illegal. Shit, I don't know. I'm not judging. But we want to set ourselves up. So we have an account that's a savings and a checking account, right? Savings and a checking account at one bank. We call it Bank A. You got a savings and a checking. Now, with that savings and a checking, you want to connect those. And so that way, when you want to give somebody, you can actually give it from your giving account. You can transfer the money from your savings account into your checking and say, hey, man, here. And then if you don't have nothing over in that account, you ain't got it to give, right? So that's your giving account. You don't have it to give, and you're just working and living off of your personal account. Now, the other two accounts I advise to put in two different banks. You put one inside of a savings account, and you call it an investment account. Now, it's just a regular savings account, but you're setting it up to invest in your future. Whether it be a trip that you need to go on for educational learning, where it is to be you want to invest in real estate. That's what I did with my investment. Or you want to invest in stocks. I have my children investing in stocks from their investment account. Again, it's just a savings account that we attached the name's investment to, and we put it at another bank, right? And then you want to have what's the other one? Personal, giving, savings. Oh, that was a savings account. No, that was an investment account and a savings account. And then you want a savings account. Now, those are the savings account for what we want, like cars. They want in the car. Some of us want to go on trips, right? Now, if you got an investment account that's for your educational, then your savings account you got for the trip, right? So you want to make sure you have your money segmented in those separate accounts at the minimum and set them up at different banks. Now we can go on further and further as I continue to teach and as I continue to go on and deliver my content on why the separate banks make sense. But just case in point of you being out, and a lot of us may be having old proclivities. We have old things that we was doing back in the day. And some of us are drinking, right? Some of us go out and like to have fun. Or we have partners that's around and we still hang on to some of them old habits. When you get out in those circumstances, If you have money in another account, you can no longer transfer that money and keep the party going. Well, that's just what I used to do, man. I used to be in the club or be out drinking with my cousins and my family, them, and I wanted to have a good time, man. And I'm making the most money out of everybody, so I might not have it to give, so to speak, but it's not in my savings account. I take it away from my other account and transfer it over there, or either spend all that money and transfer some money over and pay a bill with it. But we ain't finna stop the party tonight, right? So what that did by me having bank accounts in other bank accounts just for me, it saved me on investing in my real estate because I didn't have access to all of it. Yes, it was mine. And yes, I could go get it, but I had to drive to go get it. And I didn't feel like driving because by the time I got there, I didn't need it anyway. I was at the club. So all I needed some quick cash. And a lot of times we have too many accesses to quick cash. We have multiple debit cards. So dealing with different banks, I had multiple debit cards and I kept them up in the safe. I don't have two couple business. I take one debit card, one credit card, and one business card. You know what I mean? And that's it. So some of those tips I get into more advanced as I go on, but I just wanted to touch the basis on just setting up a financial footing. Again, I like to bring this up for the new people that's on. I like to bring it up for where I come from because I don't want people to say, hey, man, you're making 20,000, 50,000, whatever I'm making this month. I don't want people to say, man, I ain't got enough money to do that. Dude, I show you right here, man, that I had $17 in hygiene and 47 cents. And I can show that right here, I lost nothing that week, but my net amount that I had total was $631.30. That's all I had to my name, net, after everything. So we're going to start from where the beginning, and I go further than this. I go back further than this. This is just to come up to when I had $630 at all. That's all I had. That's it, 630, right? So I like to bring up real facts because some of the principles that we have governs us and gets us to growing. I say it's mentality, not money. Some of us are looking to accumulate a lot of money, right? I went to a conference this week. Man, it was amazing. It was an amazing conference. Well, shout out to CBN and AJ Simmons and what he got going on, that program he got. Those that follow me inside of the cleaning industry, man, make sure y'all tap it into the Clean Biz Network and getting the resources that he has for you. I definitely have resources coming on as well, but he is already established and got a lot of resources that can help a lot of cleaning business owners out that I definitely vouch, right? But let's say so all right, so hold on. Okay. All right. So I'm back. Got the background noise and it throws me off when I get into what I got to get into. So let me get back to what I was at. So building a wall. So the entrepreneur financial dilemma discuss. Okay, so I got my notes here, and I always go away from my notes because for me to read notes, I just got to. I've experienced some of these things, and I until I get to the point where I got my bullet points, and you know what I mean. I'm just gonna give to you how I got it, from the heart, and so hopefully that transfers over to what's beneficial for you. Let me see. I got some comments up before I go to my next one. Now let me see. Let me go over here. Let me go try on Instagram. We got some people joining on Instagram. What's up, people on Instagram? Thank y'all for joining in. I appreciate it. All right, all right, all right. Now we're going over to okay. We do got some folks tuning in over here. We got some folks on Instagram, and Facebook and YouTube. All right, so all right, we got somebody saying, "Hey fam, oh, what's up, fam?" All right, I appreciate it. Assured Comfort Cleaning. How you doing, Mr. Wade? I'm doing well. Thank you for time to tuning in. Hope that you can get some of this knowledge that I have valuable. All right. Nice topic. All right, my guy Christian. Yeah, we're gonna talk about I'm big on the finances, right? So thank you for tuning in as well. So now let's get back to the building a wall, right? So one of the things that we have in business that's illegal for us to do is something that called a commingling. All right. Now, commingling is when you have your personal and your finances together. They join, they married as one, right? And that's something that's frowned upon because as you start to grow your company, that is definitely something that you could get an audit on and you could be audited for, like you have to pay a lot of taxes back. So in the beginning stages, as I just given you 4 bank accounts to set up your personal, let's go over and talk about the business account. And business account, I follow the method that I talk about. It's called profit first. Now I will go into that more in depth on how that has changed my business and how let me see if I can get this comment off. All right, how that has changed my business and how much it has got me profited just by just tweaking my business up a little bit. Because what had happened was inside of my structure, I had the 4 bank accounts for my personal and I had multiple bank accounts for my business, but I didn't have them in a system. See, we talk about systems a lot of times in entrepreneurs. We want to put our systems together, but systems is in everything that we do. So for me, the systems of finance, it has to come first before I had to get the building of the company. Because see, I needed some money to invest. And a lot of times we want to invest with no money, no time, and no talent. Right? So we got to have either the treasure, the talent, or the time. So if you have the time and you're working a job and now you have to save up some money, so you got the treasure and you invest your treasure, which is your money, into your systems. And so now that you can alleviate some of the time, and so then you have the talent that you learned from all of these things, and now you can start to build up your business. But if you don't have time, treasure, and talent, those 3 things, that you cannot holistically build a company. So I said the system that I put together, I wanted to make sure that I had some profit coming in. So I bring some money in, it goes to my income account. And inside of this one bank, I got just one bank that I work with, and it multiplies, it separates all the bank for free. All right, it separates it. It's a profit first bank. If you do want those type of resources, send me a message or something. I'll give you the resources on some of these accounts that I set up. And I'm just gonna tell you, man, it changed my business because when my money come in to the income account, it separates it into certain accounts. And so now a lot of us that do bank balance, bank budgeting, balancing, bank balance budgeting, meaning that you look at your account and say, hey, I got $1,000 in here, I can spend some money. A lot of us that do bank accounts like that, this process is amazing because it segments or segregates your money or segments your money off into where you can spend it. So if you have operations account and you're spending your money on operations, you know that's for your payroll, that's for some of your supplies, that's for some of your things here. So you know exactly what to spend out of. So you're not going to go in spending some money that you have in owner's compensation on your operations, because that's what you need to pay the top tier of the people that working, right? So some of these things that we don't have in place is holding us back from getting to this next level. Again, I was at the CBN conference this weekend, and man, it was some people that was making 8 figures. And they was telling us, hey, this is how you can get these type of contracts. This is how you can get this up, and this is how you can do this, right? And some of those things are amazing. I learned a lot, right? But then I see so many people that wasn't in a financial position to actually implement some of those things. And some of us have been in business for a long time. Some of us drove down or rolled down to the conference on a credit card. Hold up. Let's talk speed. Let's talk real. Now, I do it because I invest in so many different things. So I tell myself, I'm invested in this. I'm invested in this. As soon as I get some money, I invest in this, right? But truth be told, this time I had the profit first method and I took some money off of my profit. I took some money out of my personal and I went on some money that I had to go home. You know what I mean? I didn't come back like I came back last year. Right. So I understand that just by me putting these things into practice for myself, it works. I cannot give nothing that I don't see working, and I don't have multiple ways of giving it to somebody. Right. So we're going back onto segregating, separating your personal and your business. Right. We won't want to commingle the money, and you want to set up different bank accounts. Now, I have a personal bank account that I have personal things I need, and then I have business banks that I work with. So us in business, we want to build up these relationships. Those that follow me know I said all roads lead to real estate. So if all roads lead to real estate, when you set up this company, you setting up for real estate. So those banks are relationships that you want to build. You want to go in there, you want to have bank relationships with different branch managers. You want to have different relationships with different banks, institutions, because different bank institutions have different lending. They have different criteria. So if you set up a system in the beginning, it will also keep you together when you want to build up those those bank relationships. I got a bank right now that I'm working with. It's a local credit union, right? I build with them because they're good on car financing. I took my sons through them. They let them get $10,000 at 18. Right? As soon as they got 18, I took them down there. They gave them $10,000 right off the bat, right? But I built that as a personal bank, and I knew that they was going to be able. They was good at doing that, right? And so then when I got my business, now I was with a bank account that did not favor my business, but I didn't know that at the time. So again, I speak from both things that I've done and things that I've went through, right? But it's all going to be experience that I speak from. Not something that I've heard about and that I didn't put it into practice because my name isn't wishing ain't doing enough, right? It's tatted to what I do. So I got to make sure that I give valuable information because I don't want people to wish they can get it done. I want them to know exactly how to get things done. So I went to one of the bank accounts that I went. And it took me about 2 years to realize that I ran $1 million through that bank and still did not get qualified for anything. I went over to another bank and they gave me $20,000 that same day. Instant credit. I got 2 different $10,000 bank accounts for me and somebody else on my team. Right? So what I realized through that is we have to know which institutions to get in because that could exponentially, that could also help you level those things up. Right? I was with a bank in my area and they had no perks. But the only perk they had for me was that they was only 2 of them. It was only 2 of them in my area. And the perk there is because they had no ATM. I didn't want no credit card from them. I didn't want no checking. I didn't want nothing. I just wanted to make that a bank. So I had to go and put my money in and I had to go and get my money out. It was less times that I went to take the money out than I went to put them in. And because of that, I invested in real estate. Right. So what I say because I've had bad money management, right? But I've had good systems. See, I tell people all the time, I'm not a good manager, right? I'm a CEO. I'm a person. I have multiple businesses that I'm looking to grow, right? I don't have time to manage sometimes. Sometimes my managerial skills are not there. So what I do, I hire good managers. Now, how do I know how to be a good manager? Well, I did a couple of management and I seen a couple of people along the way as I grew up and the managers that I didn't like. And I take some things that they did that I probably wouldn't do. And the other things I figured it out. But me being a manager is not one of them strong suits. And I'm an entrepreneur. I have companies that I'm building. I have lives that I have looked to change. I have speaking gigs that I want to do. So being a manager of people, I got managers to do that for me. Right. But I didn't start that way because I had to learn how to manage myself. And one of the things I see, and we talk about finances, one of the things I see is young entrepreneurs, they don't want to do the work. They don't want to manage themselves in the business. They want to just get in, put the system together, pay somebody to do it, and just grow the money. That's one thing that I'm seeing. And one thing that I realize that you don't have enough money coming in to put those systems in place. We have to make sure that we are mindful of where somebody is along the journey. When you talk to me when I first started the journey, I did it all. I was working 18-hour days, not sleeping at all, sleeping in my car sometimes. Not because I didn't have nowhere to stay, but because I locked the keys in the car and it was a new account and I didn't want them to come in and I was feeling like I was being absent-minded with not leaving the keys in there for everybody to see. So I slept in the car so I could make sure I meet the new people there. But that's what I did when I started. I didn't have all these systems together. You build systems, you start to implement. But a lot of times I've seen young budding entrepreneurs want to put all these things in place that cost money that you got to put in. So I'm coming out with a free ebook. I'm having a lot of free information. I'm giving free guidance on YouTube of what I went through, right? From cleaning the real estate in a matter of years, right? So that's my goal, from cleaning the real estate in a matter of years. I've seen people that's been in the cleaning business over 20-some years saying, hey, man, I wanted to get in real estate. And it took me 2.5 years to do it. And COVID was one of those years. Right. And so the reason that I say that is because some of the things that we should do, or that I think is overlooked in the beginning stages of the business. That's what the ebook is going to be about. The 10 essential steps that you need to do when you're starting a business. Now, some of the people that would follow me now, you have already started a company, but it's still going to be good, because when they talk about social media and how that goes along with growing your brand and doing what you need to do as far as building your company, I have some tips that work for me inside of my cleaning company and inside of my personal brand, because a lot of people say wishing they ain't doing enough too. Right. So with some things that I worked inside of my company, that I grew my company back outside of my franchise, which we was doing over 30,000 a month in my franchise. And I had to dismantle it after 2020 because of COVID. I lost a big account and they wanted to put me on a 2-month suspension. That's the franchise rule. If you lose an account, they figure that you can't hold it, so they put you on a 2-month suspension. But I just lost 25 racks, homie, in a month. So I can't go on suspension. I don't do the drought. I don't do probation. I don't like those things too well, right? I just learned how to maneuver inside of that, right? So I had to rebuild my company right back. So that's what happened. And so now I've formulated a plan, some principles that work from when we was doing here, from when we come from here, where we was going to 631 net, to when we had a couple tens of thousands in the bank account, right? Where we was investing into real estate and having passive income coming into every month. Well, I'm looking forward to the first. I'm not running from the first. I love when the first come in. I got invoices go out on the 3rd, 31st of the month, and rent come in on the 1st. Man, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the 1st of the month. Get up, catch your checks and come on. Oh man. But no, so we want to make sure that we separate our personal and our business finances, so that we can grow things independent. Now, when we have multiple businesses or multiple ventures, you want to segregate those as well. Now, I tell you my strategy. I have a cleaning company and I have a virtual assistant company, right? W.A.D.E Global is my virtual assistant company that I will be launching. And I've been working on that for over 2 years, right? So I wanted to make sure, again, I had the processes and the stuff in place. Now, that is primarily focused on growing my cleaning company. I grew my cleaning company through another company that I created. And then I made my cleaning company pay the other company, put it in the bank, and paid it. And so now I charge my cleaning company $3,000 to market it and grow it to back to $30,000. So I have a 10% market on marketing to my other company. Now, I focused on myself first. I'm a little selfish. I focused on me. And the reason why I focused on me is because I needed to make sure it worked for me before I say, hey, let me do this for somebody else. Cold callers, calling on the phone, making sure they closing the deal, following up through the lead generation, following up through the software that we have, making sure that they closing the deal, putting automations together. You know what I mean? All of that comes inside the package that I will be working with as I continue the journey along. But you want to separate your personal and your business, and then separate your business as well. My management company, real estate, all right, LLC, segregated, 3 LLCs, 3 separate bank accounts, 3 separate books, 3 separate invoices. And a lot of times they spend money with each other. All right. So when my tenant moved, it called up my cleaning company and sent it an invoice. My cleaning company paid the marketing, the management company, and then they both paid the marketing company to get back up on site so we can get another tenant. And then the cleaning company pays the marketing company as well. So what I mean by that, when I say that, I'm saying that to set a system in place. Now, it's not about millions of dollars yet. Because first we got to set systems. We got to pop, get them systems in place so where we know that, hey, this is running. Now, think about that. I said using the profit first method. Now, that's 7 bank accounts on minimum for my business. If the system wasn't in place, that's 21 bank accounts for 3 companies, plus 4 for personal. Make your head swim, right? No, but it's organized, right? It's organized. Now, I'm not saying I'm moving $1 million through it, tens of thousands of dollars through it. I'm talking about setting up a system that makes sure it's effective so that you can grow your empires. That's what we're talking about, right? So next thing I want to talk about is the personal finances fundamentals. Let's talk about some fundamental issues about the personal finances that we want to go about. And that's personal expenses and income, right? Expenses and income. So What I would suggest is what I did when I was doing my personal finance. How much income do I want to have personally? I told myself in 3 years I want to make $3,000 personal income. Now, that's not business income. That's personal income. That's me paying $3,000 a month, making after that's $36,000 a year. Now, I know that's nothing right now. So you might need 5,000. That's 60,000. Right? That's 60,000 a year. When I got to the height of my cleaning company, when I was with my franchise, I was paying myself $5,000 a month without touching a building. I was financially free. 2020, I was financially free before COVID. $5,000, that's $60,000 a year that I was making without having to go to a building. I had systems in place. I was working it, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know anything about growing my business. I was just the puppet that they call when they needed to get some work off. Hey, William, we got this for you. Will you take it? Oh, sure, we'll take it. I'll take it. Johnny, I got it. And I make sure it happened, right? The numbers added up. I made it happen, right? So I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just giving you in context of where we are now and where we were so that way you can understand how things build, right? How we build. So let's go over and see if I got some people over Instagram. All right, we got some people chiming in on Instagram. Okay, all right, cool. I do got some folks on Instagram that's chiming in. I appreciate my Instagram subscribers and followers or whatever I'm going to call you. This is new for Instagram. Thank y'all for chiming in. All right, and so let's go. I'm working on the software that I got to go back and forth. But hey, I'm learning it, right? So we got that. And now we have, we got comments. Let me go with some comments. All right. So we had a comment. Last comment was Christian. Appreciate it. Nice topic for the day. All right. Profit first works. Okay, my guy or my girl, whoever that is, I cannot see who's on my Facebook, but I definitely want to know who I'm talking to because that gives me more energy. So I'm about to get on my phone and find out who we just talking to, who just made that comment. Because let me see who made that comment. All right, I know who that is now. All right, my guy, I can't say your name. Kiba. I think it's Kiba. All right, so what's up, my guy? Hey, we've been following each other for a long time. CBN member. Hey, so Profit First definitely works. Profit First definitely works. What's up, my guy? My guy, Banker Jackson. Thank you for tuning in. So what's the best banks to go with? So great question. Now, if we want to talk about what's the best banks to go with, it would depend. So I'm going to give you a bunch of scenarios on why I chose a couple of the banks that I chose on, and then maybe that could fit your scenario. Because I can't tell you what's the best bank for you without knowing what context we're speaking out of. Are you speaking out of somebody that has multiple banks already? Or are you speaking to somebody that's looking to get business credit going? Or what? You know what I mean? So I will go over some things about banking, and then I go talk about that later on in another video. But one of the things I wanted to focus on, let's start with personal, right? Personal accounts. My personal account, I needed something that was close around and had ATM, and I didn't like to pay a lot of ATM or withdrawal fees. You know how when you're in another area and they don't have a lot of ATMs and you want to get some money out of your own account and they charge you for using this ATM, plus they charge you for taking money out too, right? No. So my first personal account, I wanted something that was a big bank that was around the area, so I know that, hey, I got plenty ATMs to use from. Charles Schwab is an online bank, and they have amazing software that gives you a ATM for free, no matter where you go in the world. I mean, in the United States, ATM is free. I got that account just for that, because as I was building my empire, I was making a lot of money at the time. To me, I was making more money, so I wanted to make sure if I needed to go somewhere, I needed to know that, hey, I'm going out of town. I'm gonna check my Charles Schwab bank because it has no ATM fees. So when I go out of town, I grab the Charles Schwab and we gone, right? That was my out of town bank. That's why when I segment my banks off, that's what I put that money over there for. And I labeled it big trips. So that way I knew this is why we're going. And I don't have to worry about ATM fees. Now, that's just how I did it, right? Now, one of the things I did again was another one. Oh, another one of my fees. I said when I said in the personal, I said 4 banks, right? So Charles Schwab was one of them. I went with, and I don't want to just name a lot of banks, but might as well. I had an Ascend Federal Credit Union, right? Ascend is one of those accounts in my area that they good on cars, And at the time, I had a 82. I had just got out of the penitentiary, and I had like a car that they had that didn't. That was I call it my Blue Beast. It was an Oldsmobile. I think a 91 Olds, a 91 Oldsmobile. I should have had a picture on it. I'll talk about it later on. But I had a 91 Olds, and I knew that I was going to need to invest in a car. So I got out in 27. By 2018, I bought a 2018. So that just show you the power of business. And I put it in my business name, right? 2018, I bought a 2018 from Ford Explorer. I didn't get the souped up one. I thought I could do it because I was making some good money, but the credit didn't show, but they still let me go, right? So with that, I went with Ascend because they was local. They was local around the area. And local credit unions tend to be favorable on loaning, right? Loaning capital, loaning money. So that's why I went with them. And this is what I heard. And then I used it and it worked out. So first thing first is let me tell you how I go with my knowledge. I listen to a lot of YouTube and I read some books. I study a lot. And then I have to apply it. And then I have to figure out, does it work for me or does it work for this person? Right? Or does it work for this person in this area? Because a lot of us listen to some people that got knowledge that they heard and just regurgitating it out and they have not used it. And for me, I think that's capping. Is that what they say? That's some cap, I guess. But hey, that's just not the way I roll. So what I did was I Ascend. So I went to that. So we got 3 banks that I got, right? So the one that was close to me, I checked my checking and my savings in that one. And that was the personal and the givings, right? Remember the giving account so you can give. You want to say, I ain't got nothing to give. You ain't got nothing to give in that giving account. That's also the tithing account. If you want those that believe in 10%, I do believe that you reap what you sow. So if you believe in the tithing, if you take out $1,000, you put $100 in that give. Now, if you give it to the church or you give it to some people, wherever you give it, that's your tithing money and you've done your tithing. That also keeps you, the system keeps you morally in standard with what you want to do and reaping the benefits of your system, right? All right, so that's for my personal side. Again, one bank, checking and savings, that has a lot of bank accounts that's close to it. In my area, I chose to do a Regions. But the Regions, and let me tell you that, they had to where I could get free banking if I swipe my debit card 8 times. So you don't want to pay for banking. You don't want to pay for banking. Banking is free. We got fintech banks that's free. We don't want to pay for banking. If they charging you to borrow your money, no, we got other banks. Put them banks against each other. They're businesses. Hey, say, hey, man, you charging me a fee for this? This other bank, do your research, is not charging me a fee. They'll let you go because I'm going to tell you the truth. It's cheaper to get new clients. I mean, it's cheaper to keep old clients and to get new clients as far as marketing. And so I know I'm giving a lot of information on this, but my guy asked about banks and then I just went off. I just went off. But that's the personal side. So let me get back on track. All right. Lewis. Peace, fam. Peace, fam. What's up, my guy? laughing. I don't know what you're laughing at, but we laughing together, famo. But all right. So we do got some, man. We got folks on the Instagram still timed in. So that's cool, man. That's cool. All right. So again, let me slow down. I get excited. Man, I'll be just rapping. I don't have my water here with me neither, but I get excited and I just keep going. I just get into it. This is why I know where my passion lies. My passion lies is in giving back to the community, fatherhood, giving back to the community from where I learned from, right? From what I learned. Hold on real quick. Okay, cool. See, they kind of know what's going on now. All right. So let's see the next one. Investment. Oh, saving strategies for entrepreneurs. All right, so saving strategies for entrepreneurs. One of the things, like I said, I gave the system down, and I thought I'm looking at my other phone, but I gave the system down. That's one of the systems that I have, and another system savings that I say is Digit app. I don't know if they still have the Digit app, but check and see if they still have the Digit app because what the Digit app did for me, it was amazing, and I need a little water. But what the Digit app done for me is it was connected to my bank account. Now, first of all, some of y'all that's a fear of having money. Let's get past this fear. We want to go into the abundant mindset. We want to change the mindset, put things on auto pay. We're gonna start to act like we got money. Although the money's not there, we act as if. So that way we can start to train our mind to act as that we're not stressed about the bills, right? We're not stressed about those things. So I did a digit app, and what the digit app did, it connected to my personal account, and it would extract money out on a day-to-day basis according to how much money I got in. So if I got paid and I paid myself $750, just say I paid myself $750 that week, it would take out maybe $15. It would take out the next day. I spent some money on some bills. It might go down and take out maybe like $12 or maybe, but as I start to get like down about 10, 15, $100, it starts to maybe take out 22 cents. It starts to take out maybe 10 cents, 7 cents. Now you be like, man, what is 7 cents? Dude, I'm going to tell you, that system there had me in protection because again, I was mismanaging my money when I started at the beginning. I was making a lot of money. I was making a lot for me, and I got away from the principles that got me there. I went from making $20 a month to making over $20,000 a month. And so when I say $20 a month, the mindset that you had to go up from making $20 a month and they taking $10 from you, and you only have $10 to live for a whole month, that mindset that you have and some of those practices that you put, you should keep them forever. I thought I would. When them $9,000 monthly checks start rolling in, then I just start giving people money, starting helping folks, feeling like I got it all. You know how we do. I'm just going to be real about my life story and what I got going on and my flaws. Because, see, that's the only way that I can connect and let somebody know that, hey, man, he might know what he's talking about or he just talking about some BS and I don't have nothing to listen to him about. You know what I mean? Or he done took too many losses. I can't follow nobody like that, right? One of the things that you're going to find for me as I talk about my losses as lessons and lessons as something that I win from. My losses are wins. And if that jars your mind, then, hey, we either got some more connecting to do or it might not be the following for you, right? Because my losses are wins because I learned something on the inside that takes me to my next win that you might see as a game that I might have lost a little bit on the inside, right? You always had a tug of war from your external and your internal, but we're not going to go over that just too much today. But just know that when I win, when I talk about losses, you got to understand it's a win in there. It's not a loss. It's a win there. So if you can't see losses as a win in some type of way, then, hey, we're going to, like I said, we got a lot more to talk about so we can adapt the mindset or that it sounds stupid to you that it might not be my guy. You feel me? But again, so back to the saving strategy. So I put it in the digit app and it took my money out. And so it extracted it and it put it into another account. Now in that account, it took me 3 days to get it. Now, why did I say it took me 3 days to get it? Some of us, man, I need my money now. Some of y'all still cash apping instantly, money straight to you. Instant. They taking them $1.50, $1.30, $2.99. I need my money instantly. I don't never do that. Even if I need the money, I send it over there. I'm not going to pay you money to get my money because I'm ill managed in my finances. No, I'm going to take my time and figure it out. And I'm going to get it in 3 days. And that's what I do. I set that up at the early part though. So now when people pay me Venmo or Cash App for stuff, I still send it away for 3 days. Because if I could have waited 3 days for my digit app to do my stuff, then I can wait 3 days for my business to do it now. See, again, it's mentality, not money. Some of these practices that we need to get habits into doing, some of these practices we need to get into a habit of doing. We have to start at the inception of getting it, right? We got to start at the beginning of the business or the beginning of the journey or wherever you are today, right? Check out Digit App and see that'll be a great addition to somebody saving in their personal side. Again, it pulls the money out. I think it was like $2.99 a month. So then you'll say, I'm not going to pay $2.99 for somebody to take money out of my account. I could do it myself. How has that been working for you? I heard so many people tell me that. You paying $2.99 for an app to take your money and save it in another account that you can't get back for 3 days? They not investing in real estate today, I tell you that. And I'm not bashing none of them. It's just the mindset. The same people that told me I shouldn't get in the CBN group for $300 when he was charging $300. That would have been one of the best investment them $300 would have been the best investment that I've been in my life. Because I got a person that, hey, I say a friend, but dude, he's like a brother, dude. He's opened up his house. He opened up a lot of things. So don't listen to the people around you to tell you, man, don't get on these things that's going to save you. If you're having a financial situation right now and you're not in the best financial, redo your financial situation. Go get you some apps that'll take the money from you. It doesn't matter if you're paying them. You're paying them to save, and it's okay. You're still paying people to get your money back, and you're not saying nothing. These same folks will get their money on Cash App, send it instantly back to themselves because they need their money today, but then get upset that I'm paying $202.99 for somebody to help me save money for tomorrow. Can you see the mindset? You would spend $2 to get your money today versus spending $2 a month to get your money tomorrow. All right. I might have went over somebody. That's just my. It's like I said. This is just the people that I'm around, the mindset that I see, and this is just how I see people think, and how I say, man, it's mentality, not money, because it's a way that we think, man. Entrepreneurs think a different way. All right, they think a different way. All right, so strategy. That's the strategy. And let's go over investment opportunities for long-term growth. All right, so some investment opportunities for long-term growth. Let me see. I got a comment. Let's go outside. Let's go outside. Okay. Hey, whatever that was, he said it was hot, or she said it was hot. Who that? Kurt. Oh my God, Kurt. What's up, Kurt? Hey, we outside with it, Kurt. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Hey, man, I got love in the city, man. I appreciate you tuning in, Mr. Kurt. Disability. He sells disability insurance. Anybody wants to sell disability insurance? I got a guy, he timed in, Kurt, he's in now. He sells disability insurance for those that might not want their last check to be their last check, and something may happen to you inside of your job. Kurt Brodemeyer is, sorry to blast you out there though, Kurt, but he is one of the guys that's in my area that definitely keeps you insured on those things. Now, a lot of us don't even have that mindset to be insured there yet. Right now, as I continue to grow, we're going to talk about laying the foundation, how you put defense and offenses on. We have life insurance and stuff like that, man. But again, some of our mindset is not even good enough to save the money in another account and put it on automatic because we scared that they're going to hit the account when we ain't got no money in. They done me like that too. I've paid overdraft fees. I've paid a lot of them just because I didn't want to take off the system. I didn't pay when my money was going funny. I paid overdraft fees just because I wouldn't stop the system. I wanted to be automatic and not serve my way on out. One time I paid about stuff just came in and then they hit you again. They hit you again. Once it come out, they hit you again. And I know what you're saying. I'm not in the situation to take that. I'm not in the situation that I cannot take that. Something had to change. It had to change. I cannot be in a situation where I couldn't take that much longer. Dude, I lost $12,500 on the deal and still made it through. You telling me a $36 overcharge is going to take me under? I don't care if you give it to me 10 times. I'm going to make it through. And I'm going to win doing it. Because guess what I understood? Hey, let me set something up before it comes out, and I need to set something else. So I need to take this off the auto on this one or just manually pay a little bit now. Right? I had to tweak the system. So now my system is tweaked and I can give it to you. All right? So investment opportunity for the long term. Now for me, our road lead to real estate. My long-term investment is in people and in real estate. So if I invest in anything, I'm invested in people and in real estate. People are my real estate and real estate are my people. When I got that house and I moved that lady in, it was newly renovated, and it was 1st of January 2021. I think it was 2021. It was 1st of January 2021, and she said this is a brand new start for me. That was a brand new feeling for me. It was the first day of the year. She signed her lease and in the newly renovated duplex, and it was amazing for me. Just to be able to be in that position, to come from where I didn't have nothing but what, 631.30 net? You see that right there? To being able to have a duplex within a matter of years that I have 2 tenants living in, and 2 companies where I have over 17 people that I'm managing, that I'm employing. Coming from $631. We came from further than that. But so my long-term investment goal will be real estate. All roads lead to real estate for me. I found that out that most of the millionaires have their money in real estate. And so for me, real estate governed everything that I've done. So I like to tell people start with the end in mind. That's not my philosophy. That's a philosophy I got from one of the books that I was reading. And it just made sense. Start with the end in mind. Then I start to see that principle playing out on my GPS. Where to? So when I'm going to leave the house, I'm going to a building. If I don't know the thing, I got to put where I'm going so it can get me there. So I'm like, well, you know what? This principle must work for a lot of more things than just GPS. So I started with the end in mind. I wanted to go to real estate. I wanted to retire off of passive income. Because see, I started late in the game. I didn't have a 401k. I didn't go that route. That wasn't my route. I didn't go to Penn State. I went to State Penn. Right? I tell people that all the time. I have a different road. So if you listen to me and you went that other way, you may have a 401k. You may have a different loan. You might could go into the stock market. You may have did the Dave Ramsey method to where you put a little bit of money away for so long and you was a millionaire by 66. They have all those different methods. The rule of 72 to where you can stack your money up. All of those different methods that they have may be for you. But for me, we're going to real estate. Because I think that's the most hands-on place that I can get the money and I can see my equity in it and I can strip my equity out and then I can get passive income, which is tax-free dollars that I'm living off of the rental income. Then I can raise my rent up every year, just like everybody else do. And I don't have to be mad that I'm raising up the rent because I got 2 places to raise the rent up on this year. So for me, I'm going with real estate, right? So that's a long-term investment opportunity for me. And people are gold mines. Like I pour so much into other people that I forget to pour into myself, right? So I love to invest in people. Now, we're gonna wrap this thing on up, but I got 3 more topics I'm gonna to touch on. Again, I did not go down and read the script. I just touched on some things, and I just, like I said, I'm not an orator. I used to watch a couple people online, and I used to try to see, well, on TV and see how they oratate and command the crowd. Toastmasters, I went to that to learn how to, public speaking and stuff like that. And I haven't had enough practice just to bullet and read it down. So I get there, and when y'all following me, y'all see how tight it is, know that it came from practice, okay? But right now I'm just bullet pointing and going off the passion that I have inside. All right. So planning for retirement as an entrepreneur. I just touched on that. A lot of times, again, my retirement as an entrepreneur, for me, it's not the 401k. I think for me, for my studies, I studied a certain type of way. So I studied for the knowledge that I needed. So 401ks is frowned upon, right? For me, like some of the stocks, frowned upon for me because of where I am starting and where I have my future to go on, right? So 401k is tied to the stock market, right? And the stock market, as my mom just discovered when she was about to retire, that her stocks was plummeted. She took her money out of the 401k because it was after COVID. So she ripped the money on out and she got it in a bank account where it's not getting any interest, but she got money to live off of. But she's worried right now because everything costs money and she's not making any more income. So this is where us children, entrepreneurs, this is where we pay mama's bills. This is where we give back to mama. So, right, this is why mama's on the credit on one of the cards and got her bills on the card, right? She won't let me pay a lot of them. She just gave me the lights and the water. She's saying she want to see me successful and I don't have enough money to be doing that. Ain't mama great? But I still slugged on in and got them 2 bills, right? And then I drop a little bread off at 9 in. But this as retirement that I seen happen to my mom. Grandma, she had a great job. She was a nurse. Now, as I got older, I realized that grandmama didn't have enough money for her medicine. My uncle was a doctor, and he had the money to help his mom out. Again, helping your mom out as they get older because their income cut off. Something that we have with the fatherhood, we have with the family. Want to make sure we give back, all right, to the parents and the people that's older because their income is cut off. We have to think about it like that. Entrepreneurs' long-term investment is in the future generation, right? Our elders and stuff like that, right? Our parents. So the retirement for her when she got retired, another thing that I seen that got me on fire for finances is because I seen my grandmother work her butt off. And I remember her catching the bus because see, I'm getting personal, my people from Jamaica, right? And so when she came over, she was catching the bus. She didn't know how to drive. So she was catching the bus back and forth to work. And she used to take me in what I call the night morning, where it was early morning. She went to work probably about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. She used to take me to a job sometime, grandmama, But when she retired, she didn't have enough money to live off of. Right? She was worried. And so when I started to study finance and I started to get into the finance and I realized what was actually going on and how that's what infuriated me. Because see, they say in your passion, you have to create a enemy. And so that was my enemy, how they did us financially. And so that's what drives my passion to entrepreneurship and everything that I do. Right. So let's go on with planning for retirement. Again, I did talk about that. Mine is with advice for personal finance tips. Any personal finance tips I'm going to give right now, I'm going to give from some of the mistakes I made. Again, man, personal finance tip, man, get away from them broke people. Just say it like it. Get away from the broke people, man. Mindsets, get away from them broke people. Get away from them. Get away from them. You can't help them. They don't want it. They don't need it. They don't want it. You help them. You give it to 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 them. And guess what? You ain't going to have it. And neither one of y'all going to have it. I just talking from my experience. Best tip that I could give is to get away from the people that you've been around when you didn't have no money. I know they're going to say money changes. Yes, make it change it. You didn't work as hard to stay the same. You wanted to change. You wanted to start smoking cigars in the cigar lounge. You didn't want to go to that spot that they smoking cigarettes out the back door no more. Let's go to the cigar lounge where other business people go to. You wanted to go eat lunch at a different place. You didn't want to go to McDonald's. I don't know if you eat McDonald's. You wanted to go to a nice lunch restaurant where you can have a brunch with somebody. You wanted to go and meet people at upscale restaurants for seminar dinners and stuff like that. You didn't want to go and eat at the local Chili's or the Outback Steakhouse all the time. So yes, it did change you. It's supposed to. You wanted to dress up and go to conferences. You didn't want to just go to the club. Although they both start with C. One of them make money, and one of them took my money. Well, I gave it away. Either way you want to put it. But what I'm saying is personal finance tips. Get away from the broke people. You can't help them being one of them is what I heard Oprah say. It seems so funny that when I call people broke, they get upset when I be around them because I talk about broke people. I talk, and it's a mindset. I talk about I don't want to be broke. I ain't never been broke, right? My mindset has been a change. Broken for me is a mindset. Now, I have been low on finances sometimes. But I've always made it. I've always made it. If I could go back and show you how I came up from this right here, telling you, man, look at the penny pinch. Look at the numbers, man. I'm right here. I got an 8.43 ROI for that week, and it was 49.07. I netted 49.07 profit, and that was 8%. And that's coming from the pen. That's coming from go to sleep, finish watching Empire, and plan to watch Star next week. Talk to Trey and Billy. All right, talk to my kids. Plan on watching. You remember Empire? Watch the show and plan on watching Star. Star must have came after Empire or something. I can't remember. But what I am saying is, coming from where I wasn't making nothing but $20 a month to where I'm making over $30,000 a month, I have some things that I put in practice to help out. Right. And if any one of those things helped you out, then hey, hit the like button, share it with somebody. I will eventually get better with the content, give more stuff. I want to have slides. I want to talk and have diagrams written out. I want to get very, very entertaining and very educational. But again, let's go with it. All right. Now, those that left, I got one last tip for you. Those that here, I said one last tip for you. I want to talk about how we can actually get to this next level together. All right. So those that know it's better to collaborate than to be in cooperation. Competition, right? And you want to make sure that you foster good relationships with people, right? So a lot of us follow people online and we get into these groups and we want to link up with people, right? Wishing they ain't doing enough. Link up. If you like the content that I put up, hit the subscribe button. There's a bell to be notified every time I put a video up. I know it's live, but I'm practicing, right? If you like what I hear, then hit the bell or link up, send a message. I get at the email or let's link up some type of way, man. I know we're around the world. It's a global economy right now, right? You got different people in different areas. If you got a cleaning company, I have a company that help you grow your cleaning company. It does everything for your cleaning company. It's called W.A.D.E Global. It does everything your cleaning company needs. You know how I know? Because I did it for my own company for 2 years. The cold calling, the marketing online, going with the Google, the relationship management, the automation, the setting up your appointments from your cold callers, to following up, like all of that stuff is already could be done for you. But it takes some money to get it done, right? All right. William Wade, wishing they ain't doing enough. Let's get it. Man, another one bites. Man, I love live. I got some good engagement too.